So I did a little bit of research on the fuel system, and so we're going to go back to that really quick. Turns out that this airplane actually has 4 fuel tanks. I'm going to set it up as having 2 though, because the way they set it up is there's 2 tanks per wing. So 2 in the left main wing, 2 in the right main wing. And the outboard tanks feed the inboard tanks, and the inboard tanks feed the engine. I'm just going to set it up as 2 tanks, 1 for each wing, just to make things just a little more simple. So I'm going to go like this so that we are wireframe, because when I start moving these, you can see that dot that moves. And that dot is the location of our fuel tank. Okay, so about there in the wings is where I'm going to say that fuel tank lives. And then if we come over here to our side view, oops, might be better off to just tell this to jump to side. Now, if we come in here so we can see what we're doing. Guess I could have gone to the front view also, but we're going to move those tanks up. Like that. Let's actually spin us so that we are looking at the front view. And that actually looks pretty close. So, next plane will kind of generalize where that fuel is sitting, and that will affect kind of the CG and all of that of the airplane as your fuel is added or taken away. Okay, so that's got our fuel set up pretty well handled. Now another thing that we needed to do is add flaps. So I'm going to go to our top view here, change this to top, and you can see this will help me give it a guess as to where that flap lives. So we're going to go over here and let's go to control geometry first so that we can add in our flap. Now it's sort of a Fowler type flap. It's on a track, so we're going to go just with this single slotted Fowler. Kind of guess on that for a second. First detent is 15. There's only a total of 2, and then this one we're going to put at 30. Okay, and if we pop over to this, oh, and of course it's not showing our flaps because we didn't actually tell it where they are. So we go back to our wings. We're on our main wing here, and flap 1 comes all the way out to there. That's where it meets up with the aileron. Come back out here, back over to our control geometry, and here's where try and set that up to match. So it actually looks like I've got it a little too big. I did notice they're not super long flaps, so let's scooch that in a little bit. And I'm going to go with about right there. Okay. So So now we've got some flaps moving, got all our control surfaces, we've got landing gear. Let's add, you'll notice if we jump into our front view and we change this to front, we need some struts. So let's add some struts. And they're not actually really going to hold the wing up, but they make a difference in the amount of drag that the airplane experiences. So we're going to go here to MISC bodies. Say the aircraft has this external part, and then here we create that similar to how we created the fuselage. So I'm going to give it one more station, and then pull these all out here. Now these struts are going to be somewhat aerodynamic. You know, they're not just going to be completely straight. So we're just going to give it a shape about like that. We're going to make let's take a guess and say, actually we'll leave that at 0 and give this one a 10. And then we're going to want to adjust that. Let's see if we can even see it here. There it is, it's right in there. I didn't give it any size, so we're probably going to want to do that. So we'll go back to our MISC bodies, because right now our body radius is rather small. I'm going to give us a foot to work with. That actually gives us 2 feet, so let's just give us, oops, like so. Let's rebuild that real quick. There we go. Something like that. There, now we can see it inside. So first we're going to want to get this out here where it actually belongs. So let's bump our heading offset. And there we go. Now we're pointing out to the side. And we're actually going to adjust that some more because it doesn't actually point straight out. But for right now, that'll work. Now we're going to stick it off to the side. And I actually probably wanted to go negative with that, but let's see where we're at. Yep, I did want to go negative. Okay. And that's all just part of my thinking. This is the first one I'm doing, so the first one I'm doing I want on the left. So we're going to bump it something like that for now. It's going to go down just a little bit, and then it's going to have a little bit of pitch to it. Alright, let's see where we're at now. Oh, now we're miles away from where we started. And the pitch is backwards. Let's do that. by like that much. Okay, so we're getting closer. So it's just a matter of slowly tweaking. Seemed like we wanted, what do we want, more pitch or less? There we go, we're getting a little closer, we're a little bit too low, so go ahead with our vert. Something like that. Oops, wrong way, let's bring this. There we go, we're getting pretty close. Our angle's just about right. Notice we're too long, so we're going to want to shrink that in a little bit. We're going to want to come up just a hair. Let's bring this down by, what, 2 feet maybe? That's pretty close. Looks like we could actually give it just a touch more angle. So we'll go back. Bodies. Shrink this again by, it's probably too much, but that. Oops, and now angle's too much. So wrong one. Bodies. Right there. Yeah, that's pretty close. I could actually bring it down just a hair. Yeah, and we'll call that pretty good. I'm actually going to add a, say, I don't know, 1/2 foot onto that length, just to make sure it's going up into that wing. Okay, now we're going to go from our side view here and then change this to our side view. You'll notice that strut is on an angle, so let's get us into our position here. There we go. Okay, so let's move it. First we want to move it back. We want to move it back, and back is positive. Let's say we're going back, I don't know, 3 feet. And now we're going to want to, I believe, give it some roll offset. Let's see if I'm right. Nope, I'm wrong. You know what, it's just going to be our heading offset, I believe. But we're actually pretty close to where we want there, which is good. So let's put this back down to 0 and give us a little more there. Oh, there we go. Too far, but we've got the idea now. Getting pretty close. We could actually scoot it back just a hair, and it looks like, based on our drawing here, we're probably a little too big. So let's scoot this all in just a little bit. Of course, we want to be as accurate and as aerodynamic as possible, right? So scoot that all in. And what did I say? I said we wanted to go back just a hair. And there we go. So now we've got our strut. So now we want a copy on the other side. So we go back here, jump over to spot number 2 and say, yep, we've got this one too. Copy it like we did there. But if we do just a straight copy, as you can see, there's just one on top of the other. So we go back here, and we're going to want to adjust a few of these things, such as our lateral arm. Instead of negative 1.7, we want that to be a positive 1.7. I believe our heading offset, we're going to want to be a negative 105. Pitch might be able to stay the same. Let's see. Yeah, looks like it is where we want it. Alright, and so then we could do the same thing for our spinner. Just plop down a spinner right there. Should we do that real quick? Let's do that really quick, and then we'll call that for this video. So let's give it 4 stations. We're gonna give it let's see, we're going in feet here, right? So we're gonna want to do something like that. Give us a radius of something like that. Since I'm trying to make this round. I'm gonna crank up our number of sides here just a little bit, just so that we have a little more to work with. Alright, let's see, and then we're going to want to come forward with that. Let's see how that looks. Okay, well, we can see it there. It's not quite in the right spot yet, though. Let's give us a side view. I'm going to actually move this a little bit farther. We're going to want to come forward. Okay, I'm going to say that the tip there is about right, but we're going to want to come back a bit on the back piece. It actually looked like we're going to want to go bigger too, so let's... Oh, whoops. Huh. We're going to add us one more station so that I can work with that. Now I want to try and keep center on that center line. scooch everything into position. Alright, we're getting pretty close. Okay, and I'm going to say for right there that you've got the idea. I'm going to tweak it a little more to make it a little smoother and whatnot, but no need for you to watch that. So, right there we're getting pretty close, and we're going to go ahead and call that a video.